In this video, I want to talk about your local newsletter and how you can manage your time staying consistent as a student or whatever role you have. If you're going to do a local newsletter part-time in your own time, if you are a student, you've got other things on. You don't want this to take up all of your time. So I want to give you an outline today in order for you to have a clear plan of action for how you're going to go forward and fit this in easily with what you're already doing, because it doesn't actually take as much time as some people fear. So the first thing you need to do in order to stay consistent, and that's a big part of newsletter, is getting your edition out every week, is to set a routine. And the best way to do this is decide, first of all, which day you're going to write on. Okay. Now, if you're going to do a weekend edition of a newsletter, you probably want to write on a Wednesday for it to be published on a Thursday, and then you can drive traffic to it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. If you're going to do multiple editions during the week, which I absolutely do not advise from day one, start with one a week and then maybe increase up from there. But then by that point, if you're writing on a Sunday to release on a Monday, writing on a Tuesday to release on a Wednesday, writing on a Thursday to release on a Friday, for example. But set that routine. Decide when you're going to write and then stick to that. Now, if you're using AI tools and you're using templates, they're going to save you a ton of time with the writing. The writing does not have to take you 2 hours. In fact, it can take you 10 to 15 minutes, because with this kind of newsletter, we don't have to write a ton of original content. What we're doing is saving people time. Instead of them having to go online and find what they want to do that weekend, we're delivering it to them to their inbox. They don't need 20 options. They could just have 5. Okay, so we don't have to have a huge amount of information in this newsletter. What we do need to make sure is that everything is relevant to our audience. So if you're a student and you're writing for students in your local area, find out what they need to know, what the best coffee shops are to study in, what's happening in terms of live music on the weekend, whatever it is they're interested in, and then get those into your newsletter, curate that information. Okay, the same with templates. If you have a template set up for your newsletter, then it's going to have the same structure every time, and you're not going to have to write your newsletter from scratch. If you're starting from a template, it's going to take time at the beginning, but then it will save you time. Okay. And you can use AI tools to help you research. ChatGPT, Perplexity will do research for you. And then you can use that as the basis of your newsletter, and then you can go away and write it with that information. Okay. Now, just to show you how quick this can be, this is our tool. This is our newsletter curation tool, CopyQuill, which is perfect for local newsletters. I've got here my newsletter, which is the BU Insider. This is for Boston University. And all I'm going to do is go over here. This is a coffee shop that I might be recommending that people come to. Now, normally, if I needed to use this, I'd have to get this image, save it, upload it, take this information, rewrite it. Maybe I might put some of this into ChatGPT, get it to rewrite it for me. With our tool, CopyQuill, you just need our Chrome extension or our bookmarklet, which is called Curated. You click on that, you hit OK, you come over the newsletter generator, add a section. So let's imagine this is coffee shops. And then I just paste what I have in Curated, and there it is. And I can edit all of this as well. Okay, and this uses AI, meaning that I can click this button up here and it's going to generate bullet points and a summary for me in my newsletter. I'll click it, but obviously I haven't put a lot in, so it's not going to do an amazing job for us, but at least you can see what it's going to look like. And then if I need it to as well, I can click this button here and it's going to generate title suggestions. And these will be the email subject lines to the emails that get sent out. And obviously I'm going to put this on the website as well. And what that means is it's going to give me titles as well. So you can see here, it's giving me an introduction. It's giving me highlight bullet points would, as I said, would be better if I'd written the whole thing out. It's giving me a conclusion. And then all I need to do is take the whole thing, cut and paste it into whatever newsletter platform I'm using. Maybe that's Kit, maybe that's Beehive, and that's it. So with just cut and paste, I can have my newsletter done in 10, 15 minutes, and then I can spend the rest of my week focusing on growth and monetization. So if you dedicate time to your newsletter in terms of writing it, half an hour max a week, then you can see very quickly by using tools and templates. And the nice thing about this is every week it's going to be the same. And you could set up your own template. There's nothing to stop you doing that yourself. You don't have to use this. But you could set up your own template in Beehive, in Kit, and then you're just editing these bullet points, if you want to start with that, you just edit those. You'd always have the copy shop section. You'd edit that. Okay, you could decide on your layout. So in CopyQuill, we do that for you automatically, just moves where the image is, but you could decide what you want your layout to be, and then you could add in your own image, do whatever you want in terms of layout, and then because you've got a template, it's always the same. And that gives you the rest of the week to do growth and to do monetization. Now with growth, do outreach from your phone. If you've set up your social media in the right way, then you can do outreach through DMs on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and people will see your social media, will see the link to the newsletter, they can check you out. And you're working with local businesses, remember. Okay, so they're fairly easy for you to reach the right people. But do that on your phone between lessons, between lectures, whatever you're doing, and you can put content on your social media throughout the day. Just commit to doing a couple of posts a day, taking photographs of what you're doing, where you're at, posting about different businesses, tagging those businesses in, and getting that exposure. And then my big tip for monetization, if you are a busy college student, is find yourself annual sponsors. Okay, find somebody who's big in the local area, who your audience, the students who are on your list are the ideal audience for that particular business, and get them to sponsor your newsletter for the year. Because if you're going to do sponsors for a week, that's going to get really difficult for you to track. But if you get sort of the local music venue to sponsor your live music section for 3 months, that's it for 3 months. You're cut and pasting the same thing into your newsletter every time. So for example, what we have in CopyQuill is if I did have a live music venue that was working with me, I would just click this button, and then I would be able to have the advertisers labels. So I put ad there. I'd write the name of the music sponsor. I'd put in whatever they wanted me to write there, and that's my ad done. Okay, and then depending on whichever theme you would use in CopyQuill, so let's do that one there. It would look different. Okay, you just go through and figure out which themes you like. You can change it however you want it to be. But that's what I would recommend. Get yourself minimum 3 months sponsors. Yes, you can take the occasional one-offs. That's absolutely fine. But don't stress yourself out by changing your sponsors around all the time. Get businesses to sponsor your newsletter and commit for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever you can manage. Get that money in, invest that money in growth, and then you just know you're cutting and pasting the same thing the whole time and it's not stressing you out. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on how you can manage your time, how you can stay consistent with this, and how you can fit it around what you're already doing. I hope you realize now that it doesn't have to take an absolute ton of time for you to get this started. We'll see you in the next one.